Hello, hello. Welcome to the Daily Political Tarot and Astrology here on the Black and Orange channel. Thank you for being here. Oh, we have got so much to talk about today. Oh my God, much more than normal. All right. So, just want to say very quickly, thank you for being here. I am here every single day of the year, every single day, with fresh stuff, fresh art, fresh questions, fresh every day. And I have been for over 5 years. So other than 2 emergencies, I've been here every single day for over 5 years. So I take your questions out of the chat, your political questions. Just put your questions in the chat before we come on. We have epic troll slayers who keep us safe. Thank you. And we have got a fantastic community because you have been so kind. So thank you. Thank you. And if you're watching on replay, don't forget, you can go down in the description box. All the questions are listed there. I timestamp them as I go, so you can pick and choose what you're interested in, or you can watch back on a higher speed. And you might want to use the timestamps today because I want to talk about a couple of things right up front. And then some of these questions today are it's going to be a lot of setup in explaining what's behind it and whatnot. So hello, Angie. Do follow Feisty Butterfly Tarot. She is wonderful. She's a really good reader and just a sweetheart. So all right, let's jump in with just a couple of things. Okay, so this very evening, Sunday evening, there is going to be a bigger to-do over on Jen Lynn Tarot, because we're all going over there to celebrate her birthday. She is turning 64. So yeah, we're going over. So Jen Lynn Tarot on Petty Boots tonight. So I'm going to be there, and hopefully you will be there. And if you're not, then you will be square. So there. All right. Okay, so there's Jen Lynn brought that up. Secondly, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I don't right now at this very moment, I don't have everything in the description box because there was too much text. There was no way I could save it. It wouldn't let me save. And I wanted to make sure I didn't lose anything. So I've actually got an empty Word doc. I started with a blank Word document, and I've got everything there. So I'll copy it over during post-production when I'm done here. So if you're watching live and you're checking the description box and you're like, what? That's why. Okay. 3 minutes, 20 seconds in. Grab a cup of tea. Grab a cup of coffee. We're going to talk for a minute here. All right. Here on the Black and Orange channel, I've been covering politics for a long time, and I'm a news junkie like you are. And don't worry, that's not changing. We're still doing this. But over on the Stay Calm channel, which is just before this one, just before this, over on the Stay Calm channel, it's 15 or 20 minutes where for months now, actually since just after the elections, like the day after the election, the beginning of November, we've been getting together. We've been doing very simple stretching, just in our chair, little simple stretching. We've been doing some calming breathing. We've been channeling positive energy down through the energy center, your crown chakra, the energy center you have on the top of your head, and picturing the divine energy as this infinite, loving, highest vibration energy, and picturing that pouring down through the top of our head, down into your system, into every part of you, and eventually overflowing into the world. Sitting down every day and doing that. And I've been trying to say all along, bringing it up, sounding silly, that there is something of a original Karate Kid movie aspect to this. The wax on, wax off kind of thing, that it seems so simple, and it's good. It's good just to take 10 minutes a day to give your nervous system a break. But today we started something new. I don't know oh, how it's going. I've asked people to put comments in the description box over there, or the comments underneath over there. But basically what we've started doing now is trying to get people to, once you're used to channeling that energy, and it takes time, takes practice. Doesn't sound like it should be difficult, but it just takes practice. And after months of doing that, I'm trying to get people now to try to multitask. So to continue channeling that positive energy while you're doing something you've done 1,000 times before, whether it's mending or putting on your makeup or washing dishes or whatever it is. Because I'm going to guess that people don't fully twig, or don't believe me, that once you're able to do that consistently while you're doing that mindless thing, there are a couple of things that happen. One, when I go to get like healings I pay other readers for healings, what have you, and they all tell me that they're like, the top of my this part of my energy field is actually quite clear, and a lot of the negativity and gunk that we all get is actually sitting down around my feet or below. And part of that is this constant or this oftentimes channeling this positive energy. But the other thing is, once you are multitasking channeling of that positive energy. I was doing my makeup during the earlier live stream, and there's this magical thing about it where, like, as I'm putting the makeup on, it's just this immense feeling of gratitude for the feel of the tissue. I used to put on the blush, every eyelash, just this immense feeling of gratitude as you're channeling this positive energy. And it's magical. It just really is. But I don't know I don't know how to express that, because I think in some respects we, especially in the US, we've got a lot to, we're always on the go, got a lot to do. What's the quick answer? How do I get that going? People who want to cast spells and what have, there are people who do that, and there are various ways to move energy. But once you have really connected with that positive energy, it's like magic become real. It is this amazing feeling. So Grace is mindfulness. It is mindfulness, but it's more than just being in the moment, because you're channeling the highest vibration energy that you can, the most loving energy that you can. There is a little boy who is on shorts and TikToks and I'm sure videos, and I'm afraid I can't remember his name, but he's a young boy and he remembers a bunch of his past lives, and he's very mature for his age. And his mother asked him questions about spirit, about spirituality. And there's one thing he said where it resonated with me. He's said many things that are very good, but one thing resonated with me. His mother asked him, if you could put your hand into God, into that energy, what would you feel? And he said, everything. Yeah. Yep. So anyway, oh, okay, that's great. It does yoga, meditation, journaling, try to do something creative every day. No, this is great. This is great stuff. And I'm not saying, oh, I have the secret sauce. I'm not a guru. don't have the job, don't want the job. But I've just found this to be particularly magical, but something that it's like a skill you have to slowly develop in order to get to that feeling. Anyway, so I just wanted to tell you about that and tell you that I don't know. I guess I'm just going to wait for feedback from you as to if you find it useful or interesting, because it's been a huge thing in my life. So, okay, that's that. Moving on. I told you. So at 11:30, there was going on to the politics. There was a really good article in The Guardian. And, oh, thank you. The actual article is called "Right-Wing Populists Will Keep Winning Until We Grasp This Truth About Human Nature." It's a very interesting article. And the person who wrote it, and the link will be in the description box. What it comes down to is, if I'm going to summarize, if I'm going to paraphrase, burn it down politics, which is kind of what we have right now. Why Trump's chaos is still successful with the right. So it's an opinion piece, and it argues that right-wing populists like Trump will keep winning, not in spite of their incompetence, but because of growing inequality and the human urge to lash out when excluded. People who feel shut out from the prosperity that's around, they're angry. They feel helpless. And populist authoritarians are masters of channeling that rage, even when they're the ones worsening the inequality. They're the ones talking about it. They're the ones saying they have the answer to it. People don't vote for chaos because they misunderstand the system. They vote for chaos because they do understand it, and they think it's time that it burns. And in this article, this opinion piece, this author wrote, meanwhile, centrist parties like the Democrats and Labour in the UK are too afraid of upsetting wealthy donors and corporate media to confront the root cause, inequality. And as long as they refuse to offer real solutions, like aggressive taxation on the rich, investment in public services, they're effectively ceding working class voters to the far right. So if inequality is the fuel and Trump has become the match, how long can Democrats keep ignoring the fire? And that economist we talked about, the young lad from the UK who grew up with working class parents, but he ended up in high finance. And now he's speaking up about inequality, about the damage it's doing. about how eroding the middle class is what's happening is the super wealthy amass more and more and more and more money, more stuff. There's only so much physical stuff in the world. And because they're trying to grab all of it, it raises prices, it erodes the middle class, and it leaves people who are just starting out, young people, the elderly, people who are just not well off and not born into money. It leaves them unable to buy those things like houses, like et cetera, et cetera. This inequality is something that I agree. The key to understanding all of this is the inequality and doing something about it. And I just, resentment is the strategy, inequality is the system. So I want to read on this, that is this really, if we as a party, because this is a very blue channel, those of you who are new, hi, we talk about politics and I am a Democrat. I just am. I'm just going to lay that out there. Most of the people here are. And those who aren't tend to be independents. So, but if we focus on that inequality, is that the message that will break through for Democrats? Assuming anything can. So if we focus on Yep, I've heard about what happened in Pennsylvania. It's very sad, but it sounds like nobody got hurt. That's what matters. He said I changed mine this week from independent to Democrat. Thank you. Running courses, I'm a Canadian and Democratic. Excellent. So, all right, reading the Halloween deck today. And this is the original one I bought in college. I don't know how it has survived. King of Swords. Well, this is the legislation. This is the politicians afraid of the donors and whatnot. 8 of Cups. The wealthy have left. This is an unfinished project. This is abandonment. And that's what the people in red have done. Just the more conservative. Queen of Ghosts, Queen of Cups. So Democrats, 7 of Pentacles, fruits of labor, 6 of Cups. Oops. And the Queen of Wands. This is nostalgic. That's a card of nostalgia. This is the group of far right. The wands are come up as MAGA for me. This is the group of the far right believers who are not going to change their minds no matter what we say. But it is Donald Trump he has successfully pulled one heck of a sleight of hand because he is a con man. And there is only one thing on this earth that he's good at. And that's being a con man. Sorry, I need a sip of tea there. Who's going to have the fruits of labor? That's what it comes down to. And this is the nostalgia. This is the more modern women's rights. So it does feel like part of its demographic, who people who came of age, when they came of age, people who feel like they had the most success at certain times in their lives. Have you ever noticed that certain people who, whatever time in their life they had some huge success or what have you, it's like they're still dressing like it's that year? I mean, I remember it was a few years ago, there was someone who had like won the ultra high score on, the first person to like win the ultra high score on Pac-Man. And not ironically, not to just get into the theme of it, he generally dresses like it's still the early 80s. And there's some of that with politics, where if you came of age, so that's why you get a lot of people now who think of themselves as Reagan. They're Republican. Really, they're Reaganites. And Reagan is turning in his grave at what Trump is doing. Oh, no, however you dress is however you dress. I'm a big believer in fashion improves the less it imposes a look on people. The more variety we get, the more comfortable people are, the more come on, I've got a Sagittarius stellium. I want you to express yourself. So again, there's that nostalgia card. Judgment, Hanged Man. Page of Wands. So young people who are feeling very angry. People are angry, so Trump is able to deflect that anger. He's able to just, he's not trying to get rid of it. He's trying to bend it to hit a target nearby. That's what he does. And that's what we should do. Only we shouldn't bend it. We should say it straightforward, in a straightforward way, because we're more honest. Yeah. So at this point, just a centrist would be revolutionary. The W has gone so far to the right. So change the tax policies, change that in itself, actually change the policies. I started watching a bunch of shorts by a man who really understands how the wealthy make money in ways that the rest of us can't. And the most simple example, one of his shorts was basically how the ultra rich, they don't pay taxes because they live on loans. They have so much wealth that they just go to the bank and say, hey, I've got all this wealth. I'd like to take out a loan. And the bank's like, sure. And so bank's like, oh, okay. And so they get loans against that money that they have, and they live off of that. But here's the thing. Then they either have so much money that they can keep covering it, or That's the main thing. But there are some other legal shenanigans you can do so that they don't have to pay back the loans. They just keep pushing it off and rolling it along until they die. And things are in a trust. So I guess the bank gets paid back at that point, but there's no big tax bill. So all of that's just one of a series of these things that the ultra wealthy do. The rest of us can't. And it's really interesting. So anyway, they've been doing this for a long time. All right, so on a more practical note, at 26 minutes in, despite recent internal tensions and being in the minority in both chambers for the moment, Democratic leaders like Cory Booker, Senator Cory Booker, Representative Mark, is it Pocan? I'm afraid I don't know how to pronounce his last name, are doubling down not on 2026 elections, midterms, but on pressuring a small group of moderate House Republicans to flip key votes and stall Trump's increasingly authoritarian moves. Backed by the DNC, DCCC, and ASDC, Democrats have already hosted 71 town halls across 35 states in 3 weeks. The movement isn't just electoral. It's a moral and civic call to action. With visible public anger growing and Republicans ducking town halls, Democrats are betting that focused grassroots mobilization can shift the balance before the next election even arrives. So, the article was called All Hands on Deck. Can this be a successful shot to derail Trump's authoritarian agenda? All hands on deck, or are you asking what deck I'm using? Sorry. Oh, Lucky Girl's here. Hello, you international treasure, you. I haven't seen you in a bit. Here's a YouTube short explaining what I'm describing, how billionaires avoid paying taxes. There we go. There you go. Is a Gary's, and then there's Gary's Economics, which is the other one. Yeah. Oh, missed you. All right. Mr. Dill says, raise your hands in the air and say meow. Meow. Okay. Adult. Okay. Okay. So, is this going to work, really? Page of Ghosts. All right, we're in the minority. We know that. We're in a weaker position. Meow, meow. Where's Boo Boo's and Kitty? Sleeping elsewhere. I think he's in one of his brother's beds. Just to be obnoxious. I think he's in his brother's bed that's on the human bed in the sewing room. Anyway, my mom's sewing room. Sitting pretty. Aggressive MAGA. 2 of Wands. But here's Temperance. 4 of Pentacles, which is the day late and $1 short card. My understanding is that Speaker Mikey, the heretic, he's actually having some trouble getting the budget sorted out between the House and the Senate. And it isn't that he can't do it, it's that he's having trouble with his moderates. Raymond says, I don't get enough credit for acting less insane than I really am. What? Well done. Well done. Hold on, I thought the budget was done. I don't believe so. Yeah, visualize 70. Raise your paws in the air like you just don't care. Correct me if I'm wrong, but no, and the reason that the only reason I don't believe it's been done is because the budget is staggering in its cruelty the way it stands right now. And when it passes, it will be massive news. Of course, Smith says the House sent the bill to the Senate. Yeah. Oof. Skipton's asking, so what was the continuing resolution, the CR? But, well, that's not the full budget. That just keeps things running for a limited amount of time, is my understanding. High Priestess. I got to use some wisdom here. Hermit. Far right victory. Thief card. That's deportations. Adding insult to injury. Yeah, the energy coming off of that budget and all of it is cruel. It's awful. Absolutely awful. Whew. Ugh. So it seems like it's great that we're doing. So let's ask specifically about the town halls, because it seems like the moderate Republicans are already a problem. Ha 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 ha. So, bum bum. Let me move this down here. And again, for anyone who's coming in late, I've got this in. I'm so sorry. I've got this in a Word document because there was so much writing and I didn't want to lose it, and YouTube wouldn't let me save it. But I'll put the questions in the chat right after this, or in the description box right after this. So this whole, okay, so backed by the DNC, DCCC, and ASDC, Democrats have already hosted 71 town halls across 35 states in 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. Veronica's saying August. Isn't there a reader who dreams about August? I don't dream about it, but there is crazy astrology coming up in August. All right, is this town hall thing? Will this turn the tide, or be a big part of turning this tide? The problem is inequality. We need to frame that. We need to be the people framing, the party framing that discussion, framing that reality. Not letting Dumpy, who's making it worse, con all of these people into thinking that he has the answer when he doesn't. That's the card of charity. It's actually my favorite card in this deck. Giving out Halloween candy. They're trying to destroy all of these safety nets. There's the thief card. Far-right communication. Republicans have suspended their town halls. Knight of Cups. Democrats going in. Wheel of Fortune. Talking to those people who feel like they are out of they're not in control, that they're just at the whim of fate. You're not at the whim of fate. And you're not at the whim of some made-up deep state or whatever. It's the extreme inequality. And I'm not, full disclosure, I'm not like super socialist. I'm just not. That's just me. I don't expect anybody to be like me. I'm not trying to convince anybody to be like me. I'm just saying that, I'm pretty moderate. And to some extent, no matter what we say, they're going to twist it. But instead of just saying the inequality is a problem, we need to say the extreme inequality is a problem. Because if we went back to Reagan's policies on taxation, the Republicans would lose their minds in anger. He actually believed in a more fair, a more just tax system. Believe it or not, Reagan. Yes, exactly, I'm Kelpie. And our government is not a business. Dave says, all I want is an even playing field. Yep. So, okay. And also, right now, MAGA is not as upset about these tariffs as you might think, because they're buying this nonsense, putting it mildly. Neighborhood alert. What? Sorry. Neighborhood alert. Random people put a broken microwave on my front yard. What? What? I'm sorry to hear that. Anyway. Okay. Although I do have to say, I like how the numbers go behind Boo Boo's ear. Anyway. Okay, back to what I was talking about. I'd have a picture of both of them, but that one was just particularly cute. Lewis says, it was the squirrels. Yeah. Okay. I do think that the town halls are helping. All right. So then we get to the part about fear at 39 minutes in, and this is important. The article, where was the article? Did I accidentally? Oh no, here it is. Trump. The article title was Trump retreats. Experts pounce as president makes walkback in key legal case. And there's a link. There will be a link in the description. But no, really, this is about fear. If Trump can deport you wrongly and then say, oops, not our problem. Ask El Salvador, what's stopping him from turning deportation into a tool for vengeance, silence, and fear? If they can get you out of the country and then wash their hands of you, What's stopping them from just grabbing people and then going, oopsie? This is vanishing. This is vanishing people. Trump is now saying it is entirely up to El Salvador's president to bring Garcia back. Does this sound familiar? Like Stalin's USSR. Political opponents were shipped to Siberia, disappeared, and unacknowledged. Or Argentina's dirty war, where the government claimed that disappeared citizens were simply no longer the state's responsibility. So is this where we're headed? Because if he refuses to return Garcia, get Garcia out of that gulag in El Salvador, not to mention the rest of them who should have had due process, this is a green light. Anne says Dumpy has said he wants to deport citizens he doesn't like. Yep. Studio says autumn is meowsers. I'm going to take that as a compliment. Oh boy. Okay. The judge wanted daily updates. The original judge, not the Supreme Court. The original judge wants daily updates about what they're doing to get Mr. Garcia back into this country. And their update on Friday was, he's alive. That was it. That was Friday's update. He's alive. Great. Night of... Oh, I didn't turn the cars over. No, yeah, I don't like this. And I've read on this kind of thing, things adjacent to this over the past couple of months, and what I keep getting is there's some stuff going on in secret. But Knight of Pentacles, no, Republicans just going along with this. Knight of Swords, that's like Human with his jackboots and all those, and whatever her name is, Gnome, Christy? Is it Christy Gnome? Whatever. Her and her hair extensions. They got her into that El Salvadoran prison for a photo op, and they were able to get her right back out. If they can do it with her, they can do it with the people that were in our country. This is just obnoxious. Knight of Swords is using some form of government legislation, something-ish. But Knight of Wands, that's someone who's actively supporting Trump. There is your disappointment card, to say the least. There's the thief card. And then more people supporting Donald Trump, supporting the far right. I don't like these cards. Now, at the same time, I still don't get that we're going to lose our democracy. I still don't get that this is... So if they are doing stuff like this, is it going to get... It may get worse, is what I'm trying to say. But it's like maybe we'll get on top of it. Okay. It is Christy. Thank you. Chaos. Howling at the moon. Chaos. Burden on the far right. Very shaky ground. Huge judgment. Far right victory, but happy families. So they're going to get some wins, but ultimately not. Oh, it's infuriating. It's infuriating. James, I agree with you. Howman, in his jackboots, deserves to be in jail. He publicly stated he was going to ignore the court, then deported the guy in spite of knowing the court orders in the first place. Exactly. Exactly. So, okay. All right. The next thing I had wanted to talk about at 45:30, I'm calling Trade War Theater Season 2. The art of the walkback and the price paid by everybody else. If this is the art of the deal, why does it keep bankrupting the audience? The original article is not going to be brainwashed. Fox News pundit slams Trump's tariff screw-ups. There we go. I know that some people are very against TikTok. That's not what I'm here to talk about. But I've got to tell you something I have found out. Not a big fan of Chinese labor practices, especially the whole slavery thing. But Pluto just a year ago or just a while ago was in Capricorn, the sign of hierarchy, the aristocracy, climbing the corporate ladder, all of that kind of thing, right? So it was digging up all that energy, and we have to deal with it. Okay, now Pluto has moved into Aquarius, the sign of, think of Lady Liberty, equality. It's also technology, but it's equality. It's about the community, much more the common man, but together, a community, right? Because in some respects, every sign is a reaction to the one before it. The excesses of the one before it cause some of the main characteristics of the one following it as the next sign goes. So Aquarius doesn't have a whole lot of patience for that whole, Your Grace, would you like some more caviar, Your Grace? So having said that, I do find it very interesting that with the trade war going on that Dumpy started, going on with China has flooded TikTok with shorts on, hey, you know that $38,000 Hermes bag? It costs $1,000 to make. Let me walk you through it. It's exactly this. It's good quality, but it's this kind of leather that we have here, and we have access to it, and we build it for them. It's this leather, it's this oil, it's this hardware, it's this, it takes this much to pay the workers to make it. It is this. So, now what we don't have is we don't put the logo on it. We couldn't like put the logo on it, because that's the other $37,000 is for the logo. But if you want this exact bag, buy directly from us. We'll sell it to you for $1,000. They are going all out. Oh, hey, you know those Lululemon leggings that you buy for $100, at least $100 a piece? Yeah, they cost $5 to make. You can buy them directly from us. We can't put the logo on it, but you'll get literally the exact same thing. And our shipping's quite reasonable. Also, China is shipping things out to Vietnam, to wherever else, and then getting them into the US from other countries. So even the trade war that Dumpy is falling down on is unworkable. So, yeah. Hey, I mean, there's one, I saw one short, a woman was like, hi, do you like high-end makeup? Okay. For high-end makeup, that's, then they like broke down the map, like in China, in the biggest manufacturing areas, this province, we usually does most of this. This province does most of this kind of product. This, da, da, da. So, oh, you want high-end makeup? Go to this website. Oh, you want high-end sports clothes? Go to this website. Go to this, and they're in Chinese, but you can get the translations, and yeah. Get all your lovely, lovely, nice stuff, your high-quality stuff, without the middleman. Now, I'm not saying that, yay, Chinese manufacturing is so fair. And I'm not saying that they should be perhaps stealing any kind of proprietary stuff. I'm not saying that this is great. I'm saying I'm finding slight amusement where I can in the midst of this nightmarescape. Which says, .com, give me the hookup to MAC Cosmetics, please. So, if those who have been making all of this high-end stuff are like, hi, I want to know, first of all, is this going to bankrupt your biggest names in high-end stuff? Cases, is Trump still making stuff in China? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All those red hats. Yeah, all that stuff. I think somebody went into somebody went into that gift shop in Trump Tower. Made in China, 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 made in China. Well, Two of Wands. Yeah, Trump running his mouth. Nine of Pentacles. Yeah. Isolating us. Oh, for his victory. Isn't he great? King of Swords. Well, two can play at that game. There can be a reaction. There can be a big reaction that can cause a whole lot of stress and strain. And this is all swords. So this is all policy. This isn't even necessarily the ridiculous business strategies of these super high-end places. Look, I'm an artist. I am. And I love art. I do believe that artists should be paid. I do believe that high-end work, you should pay for high-end prices for high-end work. But there's a thing where you can't even buy a Birkin bag unless you spend, I want to say you have to spend at least $130,000 in their store that you have to make an appointment to go into, and then you're $38,000 plus to be allowed to buy a bag. That's obscene. That's ridiculous. That is utterly ridiculous. So this is the problem. But again, China's not the answer. And as long as there is anywhere in that country they are using literal slave labor, no. But Lois says Trump evaporated $10 trillion in the U.S. market this week, bragging about tariffs bringing in billions. And at least says that's gross. I know. Yeah. I mean, like I said, they are artists who should be paid very well for excellent craftsmanship, unique thought. Then again, even as an art history major, citizen, this whole thing for millions upon millions of tens and tens of hundreds of millions of dollars for like a Van Gogh painting, please. I love history. It should be in a museum. Jeez. So what was I reading? I know we were talking about tariffs. I know we were talking about these companies and if they can, the high-end companies, if they can survive this. But I just pulled cards and we had moved on to something. I can't remember what it was. Oh, yeah. Doesn't look great. Whatever the answer is. Oh, well, okay. Whew. Crisco, did you mark the time? I didn't. No. So I must not have. I might have just pulled without even. Okay, so basically, I just pulled cards without even voicing what I was reading. Okay, all right. Okay, I've got to tell you about this other thing. Even though it's 57:30. This on today's episode of The Stupid, It Burns. The Stupid, It Burns, if you couldn't understand me there, sorry. Pete Hegseth went down to Panama. We're so sorry. Hello, dear Panama, we're very sorry. We don't want him there. We don't like him. We despise these people. We're sorry. Anyway, he's a giant. What was it? I had a joking conversation with someone once who was being very silly, and he said he was a kind of clown and funny and that kind of thing, and he said, "I want to be buried in mature oak." And I said, "I'll bury you in a nutcase." One big nutcase. This is Hegseth. He's a nut. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to take it back, says Hegseth at the Panama Canal. We're going to take it back. Quote, "I could feel the communism at the Panama Canal." He could feel the communism when he was there. It's a kitty. Oh, the kitty. Little sweetness. Mwah. You good boy. It's the Bailey Boo. Where you going? Oh, he wants to go in the window. Anyway. Going to take it back. Pete Hegseth said he could feel the communism at the Panama Canal. Quote, "The communist Chinese," as opposed to the Taiwanese, you mean? Okay, the communist Chinese want to control politicians. And you don't? They're building infrastructure projects. They want to surveil. They want to take the canal. President Trump says, "Not on our watch." You could feel the communism. Really? Could feel it, could you? Was that after your 5th martini? Or were you doing whiskey that night? All right. Is Dumpy still trying to... Is he really going to try to take back the Panama Canal? I thought Hegseth got a major concession, as in like U.S. ships go through free and first. I even find that hard to believe. That would be massive. But they're still talking about, this is stupid. Yeah, this is just utter stupidity. Corruption. We have agreements, and there are other... Hello, will you come here? Okay. There are other people who do a lot to protect the canal from a U.S. takeover. 4 of Cups. This is refusal to listen to, or to honor what we did before. And there is the government, and there is out in the cold. These are not cards of successfully taking over a toll booth, let alone the Panama Canal. So for what it's worth, okay. So I'm just going to pull one card for us. Make it a good one. One card for us at 1 hour, 2 minutes in, and then anybody who is interested, it would be good to head over to Wild Rose Tarot Consulting, the Sunday stream. Wild Rose Tarot Consulting is Sienna, good old Sienna Rose. And she's doing these live streams, and she's doing personal readings live. So if you get your question in, she only does so many, but if you get your question in, you might get a free reading. So on her channel is now called Wild Rose Tarot Consulting. Oh, and Lucky Girl has the link to the channel. One card for us. Da-da-da. Oh, Carolyn, thank you. Oh gosh, my computer was hacked and locked. Got a computer company, fixed it. Took a week. Glad to have it back. Oh, I'm sorry you went through that. That's awful. Oh, I'm so sorry, but thank you for the donation. Yes. Who just MS said Raid Rose? Yes, Raid Sienna. A 4 of Swords. They are going to have a lot more failures than successes. Get your rest. But get your rest. That's what that feels like. So a little bit of hope, a little bit of advice. All right. Chris Cole says Uranus is planted on Algol now. Oh boy. All right. Well, we'll talk about that maybe tomorrow. Okay. So do head over to Wild Rose Tarot Consulting, and I'll see you over there while I do post-production. And thank you so much. Please remember you're not alone. Please remember you're not alone. We are in this together. There are good days ahead. All right. And I will see you later. Also, don't forget, Creative Sprints starts at 3 p.m. Central on the Creative Sprints channel. And tonight, happy birthday live stream to Jen Lynn on Petty Boots at 7 p.m. Central. And I'll be there. All right. See you later.